and then 1, and then 2, and then 1, 2, 3. In this video, I'm going to talk about the tips and tricks of actually riding a scooter in Ireland. I'm going to briefly mention this one, which is the Ninebot ES2. However, these will be commonplace and apply mostly to every single scooter there is. Firstly, you got to realize that in Ireland, scooters have the same laws as bicycles. Exactly the same. Currently, that's how it is. And this is both a good thing and a bad thing. You see, one, scooters do not need to be registered, taxed, or have any proper servicing done, which is wonderful for you as a casual user. However, number 2, which is a negative, people on bicycles are rather reckless, don't really obey the rules of the road, and it is dangerous at times as well as unpredictable. So I'm going to briefly talk to you about how to get the most out of your scooter and essentially stay safe while you're just going back to your town, city, village, wherever you are. 2 things to keep in mind. If there is any sort of cycle paths, always use them. You're technically a cyclist under the eye of law, so just obey that. Be a cyclist, use cycle paths as the safest place for you. People aren't gonna know what to do, they're gonna treat you appropriately, and you're gonna be relatively safe. Number 2 is, if there's no cycle paths, what do? Well, you have an option of either a road or a footpath. And I'm gonna go through them and just let you know what I use and when. Roadwise, if there's any places where cars go under 30 kilometers per hour, I always use a road. This includes housing estates, centers of towns, streets that surround the town, just roads where people don't really go fast. I typically go on the edge of the road where a double yellow line would be, for instance. However, in some instances, in traffic jams, I would technically go in the middle of the road. So I'm just jamming in between cars. That's how I feel safest. But footpaths, they're also an option. Technically, you're not meant to use them in Ireland if you're on a bicycle or a scooter, but everybody simply does because it's a lot safer than the roads. This means that you'll see a lot of scooter riders who are very reckless to go max speed on a footpath, and no, to me that's just not an option. Footpaths are essentially an alternative for me and not the main form of transport. They're an option B in the case if the roads are very dangerous. On a footpath I would go very cautiously, no more than 20 kilometers per hour, and when I see any pedestrian, I would always slow down to walking speed. Very slow, and I would essentially just use it as a kick scooter, so kick myself off the ground. This is not really commonly seen in Ireland, and I'm the only person that I know of who does this. However, being on all forms of transport in the past and driving a car, having a license, all of that, this is the safest way I see it. The problem is that on the roads, on footpaths, there is so many unpredictable variables, from people to other businesses to just not knowing what's going to happen, and you just being the most observant and being the most cautious is the one way to do it. So my 3 nuggets of wisdom on approaching actually scooting are: be extremely cautious, treat pedestrians as if they're kings, give them highest priority, and number 3, believe that everybody out there is there to kill you. Everybody's out there to kill you. You're trying to run you down, and just keep that in mind to give them enough space so you can always escape. Aside from these things, I'm going to mention a few other things and tips and tricks on scooting. I, for instance, always have my backlight on, the bottom backlight. This gives me more visibility. In darker situations or uncanny situations, I would always use my front torch, as well as I have underneath lights, a bell, and sometimes I even carry a whistle. This all protects me and gives me more of a presence on the road. It's very important. As well as these things, you need reflective tape, reflective things on your bag, on your scooter, on your brakes. These are very important. You might not see the purpose of these during summer if you're just casually scooting. However, if you ever need to scoot down conditions that aren't ideal, the light is low, there is a bit of rain, there is overcast weather, or you just scoot very early in the morning or late at night, these lights and visibility is your best friend. Use that as you will and just become more visible. This has been it for this video. Next one I'm going to talk about my accessories on my scooter, why I bought them, what they do, and why you should also get similar ones.